Hi everyone, this is our first video for chapter 11, which is structured data, basically dealing with structs. In some correspondence with Dr. Zimmer this week, he said that you all spent about a week on structs in CIS 114 in the fall. We're going to do a deeper dive into these this semester. Um, I'm sure that you saw during the fall how useful structs were, and I think the variations and the extension that we're putting on them this semester will make them even more important to your programming. All right. First of all, and I know this is a repeat, but structs are abstract data types. All right, ADTs. They include more than one, basically two or more primitive data types. In this struct here, you can see the primitive data types that I have are ints, strings, and floats. I've never totally understood where it got the name primitive data types. Um, I think most of the time you're just going to hear me refer to them as data types. Primitive seems a little bit strange, but that's the naming convention that most books use. All right. Structs are developed by the programmer and can have different variations, almost unlimited data. The example I'm going to use here is a variation of one on the book in the books. Before I go over this code, I do want to say I don't have any comments in this. If I wrote this program, it would have plenty of comments. One of the things I really can't stress enough is when you all turn in a program, I want comments on it. All right. Make the comments good. Just don't make them filler. Hey, I got to put this down just to get my points. Put good, solid comments in your program. I don't have comments in this program because I think it will distract your eyes while we're walking through the code. All right, for this program, it's a variation of one in the book. It's a payroll program. I just as far as the preprocessor directives, I just have the basics: IOStream, string, IOmanip. Right. First thing we need to talk about is the struct itself. All right. The struct always starts out with the name. Starts out with the word struct, and then you name it, just like you'd be naming a variable. All right. I'm going to call this one payroll, and that is what the book used. I've just changed things up a little bit, I think, to make it just a little bit clearer. All right, inside this payroll, I have an int, employee number, a string, name, and a float for salary. Okay, just the three items. All right, enter in main. I want to make three structs. One for the president, one for the dean, and one for the professor. And I entered these in this order just so you can see how kind of get a better feel for how distinctly different each one of these structs are, but still using the same struct for payroll. All right, I'm going to enter the president's name. I'm going to use a get line because that will take into consideration all the white space or periods for things like doctor, or I want to take in the whole string for this. So I'm going to use a get line. So I'm going to do that with the president, and I'm just going to go ahead and get the name of the dean and the name of the professor. The next thing actually, we need to talk about that too. When you're referencing one of these structs, and this is the president's struct here for the first one, you use the code president.name, dean.name, professor.name. So it's the name you give the payroll struct. All right. I got a payroll struct of president, a payroll struct of dean, and a payroll struct of professor. And with that, to enter it, I'm going to refer to it by president.name, president dot employee number, president dot salary. All right, this next block is all just to enter the employee number, which you remember was an integer. All right, again, using the naming convention of president dot employee number, dean dot employee number, and professor dot employee number. And finally, I'm going to get the president's salary, the dean's salary, and the professor's salary using the same naming convention with the dot. And then I'm going to see it out. All right. And again, you use the same naming convention with the president dot name, the dean dot employee number, the professor dot salary. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and run this. Okay, enter the president's name. I had to look up your all's president's name. I'm still learning Thomas More. Joseph Chillo. I hope that's how you say it. I couldn't tell if he was a doctor or not. Right? And like I said, I'm going to enter these straight enough. And the dean, Melinda Kellum. And for professor, obviously, you have to use Dr. Zimmer. Okay, enter the employee's number. Let's see. We're going to make Joseph Chillo. We're going to make him 1278. We're going to make Melinda Kellum. We're going to make her 6768, 69. We'll make Dr. Zimmer 21. And we're going to enter the salary, the president. We're going to estimate that he makes 200,000. We're going to estimate that the dean makes 300,000. And we're going to estimate that Dr. Zimmer makes 400,000. Right? So I've entered all the data. I'm going to see it out. Right? I don't know why I did that. That's pretty wild. The dollar sign in front of Joseph Chillo. But y'all get an idea how it works. Okay, there's my whole president struct. All right, my whole president payroll struct. Let me say that correctly. My whole dean payroll struct and my whole professor payroll struct. All right. So as far as these videos goes, please expect more. Please, I don't wait till the last minute just to watch these, just to get them in. This is a good review from this video. Should be just like this one should be a real quick review of your of what you learned in the fall. And hopefully we go on to things that you didn't see in the fall.